folks, we're going again. You can just listen up.
Okay,
Cheers, folks.
okay, common assault. Common assault. Well, I see. Yeah, it's okay. Ah, right, no, sure, I expect that, gotcha. Right, common assault occurs if you feel your personal safety is threatened. Right? It does not have to be physical, it can be mental. Thus, if someone is in the house, when a bailiff calls, someone else is in the house when a bailiff calls, and when a bailiff or a policy man threatens to break down the door, that someone else, particularly children, have been assaulted. Oh yes, because they've been threatened. Mummy, Daddy, are they going to break the door down? Oh, that's common assault on them. Sorry, but it is. I've got children in this house. You have just assaulted them. What? You're guilty of common assault. What's your number? What's your name? It's a good idea to point that out. After all, a bashed-in door would leave the other occupants unprotected, of course. Especially if it's pointed out to the policy man, listen mate, it's not your fight, is it? Your duty is to keep the peace, not to conspire to breach it. You are well out of your solemn duty and jurisdiction because you've already read this oath. Unless, of course, you're prepared to guard the door until it's replaced. It's going to take about a week. Are you prepared to stand there for a week? Right, policy man on the doorstep routine. Do you have reason to suspect that there is a wanted person on these premises, or have you obtained a lawful warrant of entry in order to arrest that person? No. Do you have reason to suspect that there are stolen goods on these premises, and have you obtained a lawful warrant of entry in order to search for them? Well, no, I'm accompanying this bailiff. Do you have reason to suspect that there are illicit drugs on these premises, and have you obtained a lawful warrant of entry in order to search for them? Well, no, I'm accompanying the bailiff. Do you hear a fracas going on, such as to think that someone's life or limb is in danger? Well, no. Oh, then your sole point of being here is to prevent breaches of peace, my peace included. You do that by arresting the bailiff for unlawfully breaching my peace. Just tie them down to their own rules. Debt collectors and bailiffs. The first thing you receive is a demand acting on behalf of someone else, often accompanied by a toilet paper warrant rubber stamped by a deputy district judge at the Northampton Bulk Clearing Centre. We've already discussed that. But what's the real situation? As a human being in common law, you are bound only in honour by obligations to which you have specifically agreed. You're sovereign. If you don't agree, it doesn't apply. If you do agree, that's fine. You've got an obligation if you agree, but not if you don't. Did you specifically agree to deal with the debt collectors or bailiffs? No? Then what right have they got to bother you? None whatsoever. If someone pays off a debt on your behalf, then they would be stupid not to have contacted you first in order to agree specifically. 1. That you agreed you actually owed the debts. 2. That if they paid it off on your behalf, you would pay them back and thus create an obligation on your part. Do they do that? No. They just waltz in, buy up the debt and then start making demands with menaces. That's what they do. Utterly dishonourable, of course, but then they have no other choice. Now, if they contacted you first, you tell them to keep their fucking noses out of your private arrangements. Nothing to do with you. So they're steeped in dishonour from the word go, and you can tell them now, I do, I have done, many times. And if you do that long enough and hard enough, they generally give up, which often means selling it on to some other firm. You just have to apply the same techniques to all of them. I've been, through all that. Selling it on twice more seems to be the limit. That's just experience. If they say they're acting as agents, which is normal, I don't deal with agents, you say. I deal with the organ grinder, not the monkey. Go back to whoever you are agents for and tell them that's the situation. Now get off my doorstep, you've got no right to be here. And there are ongoing moves by us to use the fact that they are eventually forced to give up, and it goes quiet, to say that their original claims were therefore fraudulent, which is why they had to give them up. They couldn't press them, including those of the originator. And to use this to create statutory demands for compensation due to their frauds, blackmails, extortion attempts, extortion racketeering. Being arrogant, debt collection agencies ignore the statutory demands, which leaves their firms wide open to being wound up as insolvent. And they've got away with it, with all this, for far too long. It's long past time to take back our own country. I haven't managed to contact my friend in Shetlands since Christmas, but so I don't know if something's happened. But using these techniques, he obtained issued a statutory demand against the Royal Bank of Scotland, and by the way, own NatWest as well, and it expired. The 30 days went by, which according to the Insolvency Act means that he can petition a High Court to have the Royal Bank of Scotland wound up. And he wrote to them pointing that out, like, I could have you wound up tomorrow. They went, oh! And to cut the long story short, if I can, they got some solicitors to get in touch with the High Court and to petition the High Court for an injunction to stop him doing that. Now, I don't know what the result of that is. It's been ongoing. Fundamentally, as I last remembered it, oh, sorry, I haven't, there's a little bit more to the story. When they wrote their petition, these solicitors wrote their petition, they said, we are writing this petition under the common law. So they're writing on behalf of a fictional legal entity, and they're trying to claim common law jurisdiction. The reason why they were doing that, we think, is because the Insolvency Act is a statute. So if they're going to claim common law jurisdiction, the statutes don't apply. So therefore they can't be wound up under the Insolvency Act. That's actually exactly what we do, if you like. We claim common law jurisdiction, so statutes don't apply. And so my friend's argument to the court was, you're a High Court, you don't have, there's no jury, you don't have any jurisdiction to hear this case, to hear this injunction, this petition for injunction. If they're submitting it under the common law, it's not a common law court. You don't have any jurisdiction. And that was the last I heard. That was just before Christmas. What it seems that they're trying to do, as I say, is to try and put the High Court, whose job is to impose statutes, have got to try and work out a way of ignoring the Insolvency Act. No wonder it's taken them quite a while. I don't know what the score is at the moment. I tried to contact him just last week, and you know, he's not answering emails, but he's up in the Shetland Isles, this is where he lives. So we'll see. But as I say, last I heard just before Christmas was that was the situation. It's kind of stalemate. But it's a bit of a problem. If they're trying to claim common law jurisdiction for a fictional entity, Royal Bank of Scotland, what? You know, they're like, what? And they're doing that so that they can say the statute, the Insolvency Act, doesn't apply, because an outstanding demand is the Insolvency Act says, right, you can wind that company up. Well, you can petition to have it wound up. And the only thing that can stop it being wound up is dispute. Now, if there was dispute, you've got the 30 days of the statutory demand to make a dispute. And if you don't make a dispute, tacit acceptance. What they use on us every time. So, you know, it's a pretty pickle up there in Edinburgh. Well, it was. I don't know what that is. Right, Yeah, so I finished that screen.